Welcome to the broadcast, my dear food crumbles. I'm glowing today because of the heat, insufferably so. So excuse me if there's a bit more glow than usual, but I don't like to wear any sort of powder of any kind. I'm afraid I can't bear that on my skin. So, you might see me glowing a little more than usual. I don't sweat, you understand, and I don't perspire. I glow. Absolutely. And it's a very happy Father's Day for William today. He's been receiving wishes from the little ones, with before and after shots of them having a little rough and tumble in the grasses at Norfolk. "We love you," they cry. "We love you, Papa." We love him too, don't we, my dears, our big Willie? We absolutely adore him, especially there in his smart country greens. A few of them wearing green there. Splendid, splendid. This was captured, as I say, at Norfolk by Josh Schiller, and he's the chap that also captured the images of Louis for his recent birthday. I think actually they were taken on the same day as this shoot. And the royal family themselves shared this image to all dads everywhere. "We wish you a happy Father's Day today." And there you see the young Charles and the young Anne being pushed by Papa. And there's one of the Queen with Major Bruce taking his beloved daughter up the aisle, so to speak. It's only a pity, really, isn't it, that he didn't see his daughter transcend to Queen Consort, because that's really quite something, isn't it? Queen Camilla of this very nation. Who would have thunk it? Wasn't Catherine's colour palette an absolute joy for tripping the colour? Yesterday, wasn't it? Absolutely astonishing. She trooped her own colour, and it was aquamarine by Catherine Walker, in fact, and she paired it with the late Queen's Bahrain pearls and the regimental brooch of the Irish Guards. Actually, I thought it was quite exquisite, and it was a tonic. And did you notice the admiring glances she was giving to William? And who could blame her? Who could blame her with that sort of hip action as he mounts his steed? Ooh, lucky Catherine, lucky Katie Coos. Well, I realise that I'm vulgar and I'm brassy. Of course I realise that, my dears. But if it was me, I would have colour blocked to the heels too. Yes, I would have done that, because she's wearing these suede trotters. Bisque suede they are, these heels, which are very nice, don't get me wrong, but for me the feet disappear when she does that. I would have blocked the colour and been entirely bawdy and vulgar with the whole affair and just gone blue, 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 even for the trotters, my dear. Well, saying that, Diana did the same thing, to be honest. I saw photographs of her wearing similar colours, and she actually went with the colour blocking of the feet in blue. But sadly for me, and very gaily for you, I'm not the Princess of Wales, so I don't get to decide what the Princess of Wales wears. So you are spared that brazen vision, my dear. It's probably for the best, probably for the best. I'm an airhead like Diana, you see, like Diana and Harry. I'm a bit of an airhead, I'm a bimbo. Well, the aquamarine is actually a nod to Catherine's role as Colonel of the Irish Guards, and it actually matched the plume in St. Patrick's blue. I've got a feather duster that looks just like that, by the way. Isn't it uncanny? Well, and just for a second, when I first saw the photographs coming in of William, I thought just for one cotton-picking moment that he'd had a shave. And I was so delighted, and I couldn't wait to come and tell you, I can see that fabulous testosterone-fueled jawline once again that I've so missed. I do much prefer him clean-shaven, my dear. I really do. I know that lots of you love the beard. You don't need to tell me in a million comments. I know that, it's my opinion that counts here, my dear. I know that, and one James Middleton is quite enough, to be honest with you. We don't need any more James Middletons. One's quite enough. It looks like an unkempt scrotum. I'm not going to beat around the bush, even if it's his bush. It looks like unkempt scrota, and I don't care to see this beard anymore. But it's evidently here to stay, isn't it? Evidently here to stay, and possibly through his entire kingship to be. I'll have to suck it up. Queen Camilla, by the way, continues to knock it out of the park, doesn't she? She was in white, Anna Valentine and Phil Tracy with the brooch of the Grenadier Guards, and I thought it was dazzling, just a dazzling ensemble. The Queen epitomises the beauty of the winter season. She truly does. And the King, well, he was a handsome foil in red. Now, if you're new around here, tripping the colour has marked the official birthday of the sovereign for 260 years. It's separate from his actual birthday in November, and it's a display of military precision, which might be needed soon, let's face it, the way that the world's going. And there's horsemanship on display, great fanfare, and the horses have been prepared by their devoted grooms, as you see here. Is that you, Sasha Walpole? I could have sworn I saw Harry's old friend tending to the horses, but perhaps not. The colours of the regiments are tripped for inspection, you see, with gun salutes and a fly past, and all kinds of exciting affairs. And Sophie Edinburgh travelled with her brother-in-law for much of it, because Edward was riding along with Anne. But yeah, she rode with Vice Admiral Sir Tim, didn't she? Yeah, in a green dress, in a pillbox. Lovely. And William and the others wore black armbands this time in remembrance of those killed in the Air India plane crash, which I thought was quite an unusual step to take. But they did wear black armbands. The King personally requested that a minute's silence be held in tribute to the 241 fallen that were involved in that plane crash, that disaster, which included, I think, 40 Britishers. I think it did. The Wales boys were an absolute credit to themselves in smart red ties and crisp blazers, with Princess Charlotte twinning her mother in a delicate shade of blue as well. And she wore the diamond horseshoe brooch. The hairdos of both of the young ladies were practical and quite intricate and very stylish, and the King waved to the usual joy-crushing protesters, "Sorry, my dears, not my king, not my king." Well, I'm so very sorry, but they ain't going nowhere. So good luck with that. You know, you really think you're going to get one over on Queen Catherine? You know, William is popular enough and people want him to be king. He's popular enough, but with Catherine by his side as well. Good luck with that, my dears. You've got quite a battle to wage. And I don't begrudge you waging your battle. I just wish that you wouldn't piss all over everybody else's bonfire while doing it. People that admire and enjoy royalty. It's so mean-spirited and miserly, I've got to tell you. And actually, our naughty American cousins, you've been having your own protests overseas, haven't you, with the No King protests, protesting President Trump and his kingly style, if you will. I think the intimation is that he is behaving as if he is the head of an absolute monarchy, not a constitutional monarchy as we have, but an absolute monarch. Because the Army's 250th birthday parade was organised in tandem with his own birthday when he turned 79, because people think he's behaving like, I don't know, Kim Jong-un or somebody along those kind of lines. Well, the fact of the matter is they're chanting, "No king, no king, no king." You haven't got a king. You haven't got a king, you've got a president. And that is the way that your president is behaving. The Gloucesters were serene in carriage, as always. Inscrutable dignity, always dignity. As was the Duke of Kent, who made up a very distinguished figure. Actually, I saw a portrait was revealed, which was lovely, a really delightful portrait of the Duke of Kent. It was unveiled overseas by Georgie Windsor, his son, George Windsor, Earl of St Andrews. Yeah, what a proud day. And can you believe it, this is Charles's 3rd birthday parade as monarch. How time flies. And the day before the parade, the King presented new colours to the Coldstream Guards, marking the regiment's 375th anniversary. Troops from the 1st and 2nd battalions paraded, dwarfing His Majesty in their sumptuous garmentation. And at St James's Palace a glittering array of stars turned out in force for an award ceremony for the King's Foundation. And of course one of the ambassadors for the foundation who rocked up for this was Sir David Beckham. Yes, the newly knighted Sir David, who cosied up with all the rest of the lovies there, such as Meryl Streep, my dear Katie Winslet, who I hear may become a little more closely associated with the King and royal goings-on in the foundation in the coming months and years. And you know, Meryl has form with His Majesty. She absolutely adores him. There's actually footage of her online at the Harvard Centre, which she mentions to him when they have this little conversation at this gathering, because he says, "Oh, what a treat it is to see you. I haven't seen you for so long." And she reminds him of a time they met at the Harvard Centre when she gave a speech for him, lavished praise on him for his environmental credentials. She was giving him an award, and she said in her speech how much she fancied him. As a little girl, basically, she said that it was her dream, her ambition, her life's goal to marry the Prince of Wales. So they have this rather flirtatious form, but it was very nice and very civilised. And actually, it made sense of a comment that a friend made to me, who worked for many years as an agent. They're now retired, but an American agent, and has been friends with Meryl Streep for decades, for absolute decades. And they made a throwaway comment to me, not so long ago, over 6 months ago. They made a throwaway comment, "Oh, Meryl loves you. Meryl adores you." And, you know, we had been on the sauce, to be honest. I guess we'd been on the booze, and I sort of quizzed it in my head, but I didn't really quite understand. Now I absolutely understand and had it confirmed. Meryl's a basketeer. Do you understand? Meryl adores the show and the goings on. Now I understand, because she has this affection for the king, which I never knew. I never knew it. Now I know it all too keenly. This celebrates the 35th anniversary of the foundation, with the alumni, students and ambassadors. There were 200 guests involved, and it was full of gaiety. The whole affair was full of gaiety, and the foundation revealed how it has trained over 115,000 students in traditional crafts and environmental education, and positively affected over 500,000 lives through sustainable urban planning. It's quite a legacy, isn't it? And the king was praised as a pioneer and a visionary, which is fair enough, because can you please try to name another who is so involved in protecting that which we cherish and that we wish to preserve and that we take for granted so very easily? Can you name one other? What? Greta Thunberg, or whatever her name is? What is it? Greta Iceberg? Greta Berg? A splendid 35-year tapestry has been spun. Or woven, I suppose I should say, but I like spun. Now, Spice Girl Mel B foreshadowed this back in the 90s, didn't she, my dear? She foreshadowed this when she said, V doesn't come for free, she's a real lady. And as for me, you'll see. Yeah, she was foreshadowing Victoria Beckham, who is now Lady Beckham. Victoria Caroline, Lady Beckham, said, "You've always been my knight in shining armour. But now it's official, Sir David. What an honour. I couldn't be prouder of you. Your dedication to the things that matter most, your country, your work, and most of all your family, has never wavered. The way you've touched so many lives over the years with kindness and humility speaks volumes about the man you are and continues to inspire us every day. But above all else, I'm so proud to call you mine." She's not really a Cockney, but I can't really recall what her voice is like. But I love you so much. Well, you may love him, my dear, and you have my deepest sympathies, but he was shagging Rebecca Lewis, wasn't he, my dear? Or Lewis. He was shagging old Becky behind your back in Spain, wasn't he, all those years ago? Yeah, he was. And also a roster of other girls, if what she says is true, and even her harshest critics, Rebecca Lewis's harshest critics, believe her and say that she speaks credibly about what happened. So that puts a bit of tarnish onto it, doesn't it, to the whole affair? Because he didn't seem to have a penny of concern or regard for you while he was doing it, or for your newly born son. So, no. I'm afraid I'm not the hugest fan of Sir David. I certainly believe that you love him so very much, and the other person that loves Sir David very much is Sir David. Maybe Brooklyn knows something that explains his current behaviour. Maybe Brooklyn knows something, do you understand? And has his reasons for the present brouhaha. Yeah, carefully constructed image when it comes to both of them, isn't there, my dears? I must admit, I do have a cynicism about it. I truly do. I'm quite cynical about both of them. It doesn't mean that I dislike either of them necessarily, but I'm cynical. Yes, I am. Questions have been asked about his suitability and his history with regards to the honours system and alleged disparagements of the honours committee in the system, this sort of thing. Well, even if on a personal level, and even if in the dim and distant past he behaved deceptively and duplicitously, I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to the whole thing, my dear, because there are many knights and dames and all the rest of them out there, my dear, that are dreadful. I mean, they're not all going to be saints, are they? We can't always have our way. I mean, I've been a lot more upset about Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, who has overseen its virtual ruin over his tenureship. He became Sir Sadiq. Now he's Sir Sadiq, or I should say Sir Sadist Khan. Sir Sadist Khan. Perhaps it took so long to knight you, Mayor Khan, because you're shit at your job. But by the way, this one's very handsome, isn't he? Patrick Grant, Scottish fashion designer. And I'd seen him recently. I knew I recognised him because I was watching the Farrow and Ball channel. The paint colours. They've got quite an interesting series on colour called The Chromologist, with a few known and not so known faces. And his was one of them. Nice little face he's got there. isn't he? Handsome, tall Scotsman. Very nice. Well, they were all climbing up the king's arse, of course they were. Penny Lancaster has one of his roses, she tells us, and it smells like strawberries and cream. And the king was up Meryl Streep's arse as well, saying, what a treat, I haven't seen you for such a long time. Oh, darling, 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 lovey, lovey, lovey. It's all of this, isn't it, my dear? It's all of this. Life's a gas, and I notice they're making plans for when they all come together and meet and have a big party at Dumfries' house. And the king was asking Meryl, are you going to be there? Are you coming to Dumfries? She said, yes, I've been angling for an invitation. Of course you can come, my dear. Of course, Meryl, darling. Well, I want to come, Your Majesty. I want to come to Dumfries' house. Come on, make it happen. I've actually got a viewer who's been to one of those gatherings. I won't digress. But yeah, I want to be invited, please. Look at this lovely photo here of the charming Sir Billy Boston. He became the first sportsman to receive a knighthood for services to rugby league. The first after all this time. Well, the king presented this legend of the league during a ceremony at the palace. Other notables from the king's birthday honours list included Roger Daltrey of rock band The Who, who was knighted, Dame Elaine Page, our darling Dame Elaine of Cats fame, and Evita on all of these musical firsts. Well, yes, she is a legend, isn't she? Dame Elaine, and Sir Gary Oldman, who has actually received this belatedly because he's the only British Oscar winner of a Best Actor or Best Actress award this century not to have received an honour so far, but eventually it came to him. Bit of a delay there. And Penny Mordaunt, she becomes Dame Commander. You remember her, she appeared in the coronation. She's one of our British politicians here. And she won praise from Courtney Love when she held that sword aloft for being such a badass. You know, she carried the sword of state at the coronation. She was the first woman in history to do so. She was doing that as Lord President of the Privy Council. Well, now she becomes Dame Penny. Find a penny, pick her up all day long, you'll have good luck. There are staff ranging from GPs to the Queen and the King's head valet. They were all recognised with RVOs, Royal Victorian Orders, which is very special for them and is conferred on staff and intimates of the King and Queen. But the biggie goes to Sir Anthony Gormley, who is the sculptor behind such delights as the Angel of the North. And he was appointed to the Order of the Companions of Honour, which is extremely high honour. Can't really beat it, and it's limited to an elite bunch of 65 at any one time. And they get to have the initials CH after their name. Emma Bridgewater becomes a dame as well. You know, all the crockery that she produces, all of that. I actually don't like her stuff. It's not my cup of tea, my dear. It's too middle class. But it's a great success story. No one can take that away from Dame Emma. Well, over in Harkleland, they're dropping like flies, aren't they? They are dropping like flies. Kyle Boulia is one of them, the Deputy Press Secretary. Charlie Gibson, the European Comms Director. Leanne Cashin, the Head of Operations for Archewell. And she's departed only a month after she was being praised for being exceptional and for having such great vision for the Sussexes. Then there's the Director of Communications at Archewell, Disha Tank. Disha Tank has tanked and she's gone. And then there's a PA and Meghan's social media manager, dropping like flies. Yeah, and this is in wake of Vanity Fair's expose of the Vanity Pair back in January. Do you remember this? Which alleged that there are several Sussex survivors who have turned to therapy in recent years. Well, you know, they pass this all off as a big shake-up. You know, they're re-strategizing with the girl boss. And they've got Meredith Mains in charge now. She's the new Chief and Comms Officer. And apparently she's been overseeing these changes. And they've brought in Sarah Fosmo, as we've discussed, as Meghan's Chief of Staff, and Miranda Barbot as Harry's Chief of Staff. So there's a lot of restructuring, but it seems to be happening in excess, doesn't it? They're restructuring in major ways every single year. And I understand that the world and business changes fast. Things are moving fast in Meghan's world, sinking and plummeting extremely rapidly. So, you know, I understand that this has got to reflect that. But, as well as the dynamism and the fast-moving changes and restructuring, where exactly is the consistency? Where is the loyalty, the staff loyalty? You know, the durability of their brand, do you understand? It's the difference between a heritage brand and fast fashion, disposable fast fashion. It's vulgar. And actually, too many cooks spoil the broth. That's the trouble when all these faces come and go all the time. There's nothing consistent, nothing of quality. Too many cooks spoil the broth. And it seems that Meghan has been keen on sipping on that very broth. And Harry's been sipping from the very cup. Let's face it, his head's been turned, and we ain't talking about the ginger head. We're talking about the frostbitten one. Although that's probably ginger too. And then there was the King's Award for Enterprise. A reception at Windsor Castle was held following the awards ceremony, and the Edinburghs were there, and Princess Anne was also providing support. And look, this looks similar to my Aubusson sofa, doesn't it? Except mine's nicer. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a wardrobe mishap. I noticed a little wardrobe malfunction for this sweet woman. Can you imagine your one chance to speak with the king? You wait all your life to brush shoulders with royalty and your bra strap's hanging out. Your tit-sling malfunctions. What a shame. But the king didn't mind. It probably titillated him. Edward was wearing a green tie, which suited him perfectly, and Anne had gloved hands. Isn't it wonderful? This is what they should all do. It's so much more hygienic. Not everybody washes their hands when they should. And some people don't use toilet roll. They use their hands to wipe themselves. And so, please continue wearing the gloves and dole them out to the rest of the family, because they shake hundreds of dirty hands all day long, collecting all these germs and bacteria. The gathering recognised some of the best in British business, and the royal family met winners who are leading in their fields of innovation and international trade and sustainable development and social mobility. But we touched upon the heartbreaking business of the airplane crash a little earlier, and we will finish with these words from His Majesty, and I think we would all like to echo them and send our love and sympathy to the people of India and the family of any Britishers involved in this crash. My wife and I have been desperately shocked by the terrible events in Ahmedabad this morning. Our special prayers and deepest possible sympathy are with the families and friends of all those affected by this appallingly tragic incident across so many nations as they await news of their loved ones. I would like to pay a particular tribute to the heroic efforts of the emergency services and all those providing help and support at this most heartbreaking and traumatic time. King Charles. See you next time, my dears, and channel the royal spirit. Toodle pip.